My favorite movie from 2013 is Frozen. Yes. The big love it or hate it movie of my generation, and I think considering I named it my favorite movie of 2013, you can probably figure out where I stand. It's kind of funny looking back on seeing Frozen because a lot of people talked about how the advertising for the movie was different from the actual product, and I have to confess I didn't actually see a lot of trailers for this movie. I kind of caught up with it after the rave reviews from a lot of my friends, such as Tim Deanna. It's like hearing all the hype from the movie. I had to see it, and yeah, I fell in love with it as soon as I saw it. It's like, wow, this is such a good movie, and you know, a very fun movie. It felt a lot like the classic Disney movies, like The Little Mermaid and Beauty and the Beast, and yes, I'm just gonna say it. I am one of those people who just fell in love with Let It Go, and you know, I don't care how many times it's been overplayed. I love that song. What of it, huh? But you know, Elsa quickly became one of my favorite characters. Someone who was just so conflicted and was trying to you know, bear the burden of this big secret, and you know, bottling it up all these years, and the burden of that, you know, contrasted with her sister, who was so much more lively, so much more outgoing. I really just like the fact that these two characters were such opposites, but they played so well off of each other. And one criticism I do have with Frozen that I'm kind of surprised I haven't heard from anyone else is that, and I felt this way even when I first saw the movie, when you compare it to something like Tangled, which, I'm gonna say this, I think Tangled was a better movie, but when you compare it to something like Tangled, where I thought that it balanced the more serious moments with the funny moments, and you know, I talked about Aladdin earlier, I felt that it did the same thing. The one problem I had with Frozen was that I thought that it kind of stuffed all the funny moments and all the songs into the first half of the movie, and the second half was a little more serious. And as much as I liked Frozen, that's one of the things that's one of the few things I didn't like about it, the fact that I didn't think it was balanced as well as those other movies. Also, I never know when I'm gonna get the chance to talk about this again, so one of the other thrills about seeing this movie in the theaters was I really liked the short that came before it, Get a Horse. You know, Disney is one of the few companies that still actually puts a short before the movie, and I wish, you know, obviously, I may be way too young to know when that was actually commonplace, but I still wish that more people would actually follow suit and have shorts and not just 20 minutes of trailers before the movies. My favorite of 2014 is a tie between the Lego Movie and Birdman. You know, it really is hard for me to pick one over the other, especially since they are such different movies. It's like, you know what, I'm going to talk about them both. Yeah, if you twisted my arm, I'd probably pick the Lego Movie as the movie I liked more, because it's like, here's how I view it. If someone just asked me, what movie would you want to watch right now, I'd go with the Lego Movie. But both movies were good, and but besides, this is the first time in a long time where I can actually say my favorite movie won Best Picture, so maybe that's tainting my opinion a bit in favor of Birdman. But I liked it before it won Best Picture. Let's start with the Lego Movie, because that's the movie that came out first. it's kind of funny talking about Frozen because that's when I first saw the trailer for the Lego movie. And, if we're talking about hype and expectations, I actually did not have high hopes for the Lego movie. I mean, I saw the trailers for it and I thought, look, I mean, I snickered at a joke here and there when I saw the trailers, but, I didn't. I think it's more accurate to say I didn't expect it to be as good as I thought it would be, when it came out the same time as The Monuments Men, and that was the movie I wanted to see, and oh boy, did I make the right choice by seeing the Lego movie. I saw the Lego movie after hearing much like Frozen, I saw the Lego movie after hearing one good review after another. It's like, okay, I gotta check this movie out. And I was blown away at how much I liked the Lego movie. The animation, it's like, wow, these characters moved like Legos. And that was just so impressive. I couldn't believe it. And, it's kind of got this Roger Rabbit thing where he meets all these fictional characters, and a lot of them, he meets Superman, he meets the Ninja Turtles, he obviously works with Batman, and I thought the fact that Batman was actually a supporting character and not just a cameo, I thought that was awesome on so many levels, not just because I'm a Batman fanatic, as you can probably tell from the shirt I'm wearing, and the fact that I picked 4 Batman movies in my previous list, but I just thought it was so cool having a real character like that along for the journey. And the other characters were so much fun too. You had Morgan Freeman as this wise sage. You had Elizabeth Banks as Wild Style. She was a lot of fun. Chris Pratt was really good as Emmett. Gosh, did he ever go anywhere else? Of course, I'm alluding to Guardians of the Galaxy, one of the other movies I really liked from 2014. Funny to think that one guy would be in 2 of my favorite movies of the year. And this world it creates is just so cool, and there are so many good moments that are too good to give away, like the big reveal at the end. I'm not giving that away. Not to mention, there were moments in there that just had me laughing out loud. Again, too good to give away. And since I talked about the Lego movie, let's talk about Birdman, which runner-up for my favorite movie of the year, but I liked it enough that I'm still going to make it a tie. Birdman was the movie I wanted to see more than any other. It's kind of funny how, again, it ties into Batman. Funny how that turns out, because the reason I wanted to see it is, what caught my attention about the movie was the idea of Michael Keaton playing someone, sort of playing off of his reputation of playing Batman. And, I like Christian Bale and all, but Michael Keaton's still my favorite Batman. Though I still consider Kevin Conroy the voice of Batman. Getting back on track, it's kind of funny because it played off of that, but it really wasn't. That's what got my attention about the movie, but there was so much more about the movie than just the Batman connection. It talks about theater, but there's still more to it than that. It's about how does an actor maintain relevance in this day and age. It it talks about criticism of films, and Michael Keaton has this relationship with this theater critic who's just out to get him. And you know, in this day and age where I feel like a lot of critics and a lot of people on the internet have an opinion about a movie before it's even released, that struck a nerve with me. And the way the movie was made, for those of you who don't know, it's done in the style of one continuous take, and that actually worked that really worked in the movie's favor, because you know, you get this feeling like you really are following these characters. And I'll never forget my reaction when I first saw this movie. It's like, oh, it's gonna be a long shot, like you know, they're doing one of those long shots, and I forget exactly when it dawned on me where it was like, oh wow, the whole movie's gonna be like this. But you know, it works in the movie's favor because you're really following the characters on this journey. And you know, I can honestly say that I felt exhausted by the end of this movie. And I felt exhausted in a good way, because you know, the idea is that these characters are out there and just exhausting themselves, you know, putting everything on the line to put on a good performance. And you know, that's one of the things I took away from this movie, where it's like, what does a person have to do to keep our attention in this day and age? Not to give anything away, it's sort of but it ties into something Daffy Duck once said. But at the same time, I kind of think that there were certain drawbacks to the style of having the movie done as one continuous take. There's a scene where Emma Stone has this great speech to Michael Keaton about how he's living in the past, and it is such a great speech, but you kind of hope for a reaction shot from Keaton, but because of the style of the movie, it never happens. And there are some other times where that sort of thing happens, where you know, these characters are talking, and you kind of hope for a reaction shot, but because it's one continuous take, it never happens. So those were my revised lists of my favorite movies from those years. One of the reasons I had a lot of fun with this list was some of my friends compared notes. So feel free to share some of your favorites from the years I mentioned, from other years. I mean, hey, you know, I gave a list of my favorite movies from those years. What were some of yours? Anyway, I hope you liked the list. Who knows? Maybe if I'll do it again. And enjoy some movies.